Hello and welcome to another episode of Creating Optimal Health After 40. I'm your host, Dr. Mike Cockrell, and I want to thank you so much for joining me for another episode of our podcast. Listen, in today's episode, I'm going to be talking to you about some steps that you can take to balance your hormones to help your weight loss efforts. In a previous episode, we discussed some of the hormones that are particularly problematic when it comes to losing weight. And today I want to share you some typical or just some basic strategies that you can use to actually help restore some of the balance to your hormonal system. Now, before we get started, if you are listening to this on the podcast or you're watching this on YouTube video and you're not already a member of our private Facebook group, then I invite you to join us on Facebook in this private members-only group, because inside this group, we're accessing or giving you access to tons of additional information, resources, strategies, tips, ebooks, courses, and I'm also in the process of building out a membership site where you can access all of this information from one location. So if you're not a member of our Facebook group, then go to facebook.com/groups/COHA40 and request to be a member. We would love to see you there. So back to today's steps on how to balance your hormones to help with your weight loss efforts. We know that our hormones play a major role in metabolism and fat burning. So bringing that cortisol, estrogen, insulin, and leptin particularly into balance is a great way to sort of start your quest into losing weight. Because if these things are out of balance, it's going to be a big hindrance for you. You can still lose weight, you can still do it, but the struggle is a little more difficult and it's a little more like fighting an uphill battle. So here's a few things that we can do to help. Number one, release tension. It sounds simple, but here's the deal. When you are stressed, your cortisol levels are steadily increasing. And especially during emotionally stressful situations, you're going to want to manage this. And one of the ways to do this is to find someone that you can talk to, learn how to pour out your feelings. When everything's sort of released and all these bottled up emotions are let go, you can actually feel a release of tension. Your cortisol levels will drop, and that will help. Also, I'm a big fan of meditation. My wife and I, in fact, do a 5-minute morning meditation every morning while we're having our coffee, and those are great ways to sort of start your day and get those things together. We'll offer some more information about that in another episode, but anything that you can do to sort of relax and de-stress whenever possible, to help yourself calm down and just relax is going to be beneficial to your weight loss goals. Number two, take time out. You want to find the time to meditate, or at least find some you time where you can just sort of be alone and think calmly. Having that quiet time is essential to creating optimal health and helping you actually control your stress hormones. And you don't have to have a lot of time. That's where most people think, well, I don't have an hour, I don't have this, you don't need it. If you can figure out how to carve out 5 minutes a day, and literally, if something stressful is going on at work, I've coached people all the time to take a potty break, go to the bathroom, whether you need it or not, and just sit there for 3, 4, 5 minutes, do a little slow, deep breathing, calm your mind, relax yourself, and then get back up and go tackle whatever you got to tackle. So you don't need a lot of time, you just need some quiet time. When you take time to reflect on past events, and then you can actually analyze your actions, your decisions, and it will help you either resolve the situation or accept the issues that you can't do a whole lot about. The next thing is to drink green tea. Changing your drinking habits to one that includes green tea rather than coffee or alcoholic beverages may be very beneficial. See, green tea contains L-theanine, which is an amino acid that helps provide a calming effect. It helps fight anxiety and helps you reduce stress in your life. Also has some estrogen reduction properties contributed by its polyphenols that actually inhibit one of the enzymes responsible for producing estrogen, which can help get you out of an estrogen dominant state and into a more relaxed, calm state. We're going to talk a lot more in some episodes coming up about estrogen and especially estrogen dominance. I've got an entire course that I'm trying to get ready for you right now. I'm hoping to have it released by the end of this month. We're in March right now, 2020. So I'm hoping to have that released, and it's all about hormone balance. It's about menopause and how to manage some of those things. So we'll talk a lot more about that. But in the meantime, learning to drink green tea may be very beneficial. Here's the caveat. The green tea that you buy in the store in a bottle, already prepped, sweetened with sugar or even with whatever artificial sweetener is in there, is not the green tea we're talking about. You need a green tea that you brew, that you can actually make yourself, because if it's already packaged, it's basically like a soda. So skip those in the packages and learn to pick up some fresh tea, brew your own. It's very easy to do, and it's much more beneficial to your health and wellness. The next thing we want to think about doing is eating foods that contain magnesium. See, magnesium-rich foods include green leafy vegetables, avocados, bananas, nuts, seeds, legumes, and raw cacao. Magnesium is a very important mineral. It helps regulate adrenaline and cortisol, and it has a vital role in the production of your thyroid hormones. It calms your nervous system, helps reduce stress, and when you get adequate magnesium, it actually helps your muscles to relax and helps you induce a deeper sleep. So, regular sleeping habits are needed if you're going to maintain leptin sensitivity as well. So magnesium helps lower your blood pressure, your sugar levels, helps control insulin levels, regulates your sleep patterns to help with leptin. There is a whole host of benefits to magnesium that you need to benefit from. Now, I recommend taking a good quality magnesium supplement, usually 500 to 800 milligrams, and taking it in the evening time near bedtime, because it will help you relax, it will help you calm down, and it helps you sleep better. The next thing we want to focus on too is eating foods high in fiber. Foods with high fiber content help reduce leptin production. They help regulate estrogen, and they help increase insulin sensitivity. They also help you feel full, thereby basically reducing your appetite. So when your body is triggered to that sensation of fullness, leptin gets triggered and sends that stop eating signal to your brain. So when you eat foods that are high in fiber, typically you're going to eat less and you're going to feel full and satisfied a lot quicker. The next key that we need to focus on is stay hydrated. You want to drink plenty of water to keep hydrated when you're trying to lose weight. Dehydration leads to stress. If you're properly hydrated, then that has a calming effect and a soothing effect on your body. So when you drink more water, it actually helps you manage those times of intense stress a lot better. So one of the things you want to do is to take a full glass of water. You may want to add 2 tablespoons of apple cider vinegar first thing in the morning. And when you do that, it helps you stay better hydrated, and it's going to help keep your hormones in balance better. There's been numerous studies that show that first thing in the morning when you wake up, your body is dehydrated from not having any fluids for the last 6, 8, 10 hours. And so getting that early morning water in is crucial to helping restore your balance and keeping your hormones in check, and especially reducing stress. The next thing is just to relax. You can try a relaxing massage. You can try other relaxation techniques such as yoga, Tai Chi, any of those types of things. Meditation we'll mention again, because anything that you can do to learn to relax, let the stress go, will help you manage your stress hormones better and will help you with your weight loss strategies. Massage therapy can help loosen up tight muscles and improve blood circulation, therefore basically supplying plenty of oxygen to your body so that everything improves. Your well-being, your state of mind, it's very beneficial. So anything you can do to learn to relax is going to be beneficial. Next, eat probiotic foods. Probiotic foods improve your gut health. The sources of probiotic foods include things like yogurt, kefir, sauerkraut, kimchi, kombucha, miso, pickles. There's a whole source of any of the fermented foods are really great here. If you're not a fan of fermented foods, or if you don't get enough fermented foods, you can also add a probiotic in the form of a capsule that you take every day. But we know that probiotics help reduce stress levels, they help lessen anxiety, they help restore balance in your gut, thus keeping your cortisol levels in normal range and potentially in balance. And if you eliminate excess sugar or artificial sweeteners from the processed foods in your diet, those will actually help your body's natural bacterial balance stay in check, because too much sugar, too much artificial sweeteners, the processed foods, they disrupt the balance and create a huge problem when it comes to how you manage and handle and process food. The next thing is to follow a high-protein, low-carb, healthy fat diet. Eating clean proteins provides your body with a plethora of amino acids, and these amino acids are needed to produce certain hormones, especially insulin. However, when you eat grain or hormone-fed meats, they tend to increase estrogen levels and lead to estrogen overload, which will dysregulate a lot of your bodily functions. So be careful when you're buying your meat. Try to choose grass-fed or organic meats if at all possible. And if you choose proteins that are plant or marine-derived, then that tends to help your estrogen levels stay lower. Okay? Next, we want to talk about some of the foods that you really want to avoid. Now, when it comes to avoiding foods, we want to avoid things like refined grains, hydrogenated oils, trans fats, and processed foods. All of these foods keep your insulin levels elevated and they dysregulate leptin hormones. So as we begin to avoid those, you get a better control over your insulin, better control over your leptin, and it literally helps you improve your body's ability to manage the carbohydrates and help you lose weight. In the same line of things, there are some foods that we really need to eat more of. So things like walnuts, chia seeds, flax seeds, fatty fish, those foods actually, because of their anti-inflammatory properties and their omega-3 fatty acid content, they actually help reduce cortisol and adrenaline levels, and they actually help increase leptin sensitivity. A few more things we want to talk about as we get into this as far as maintaining our hormones is we need to make sure that we are getting quality sleep. Quality sleep is essential to maintain your circadian rhythm. It doesn't only affect your sleep pattern, but it really has a huge impact on your metabolism. When you get changes in your circadian clock, they can influence melatonin and cortisol levels, and those things keep our bodies disrupted. If you keep a strict sleep schedule by going to bed and getting up at the same time each day, you actually improve your ability to regulate your hormones, and it also helps with you keeping your leptin sensitivity and leptin resistance in check. The next thing you want to do is make sure you're getting enough exercise. Resetting your insulin to normal levels and increasing leptin sensitivity requires some physical activity. Typically, we recommend 30 minutes a day of some type of activity, 3 to 5 days a week. But if you do any kind of regular, moderate exercise, it's going to help with those insulin levels. It's going to help with your cortisol levels. It's going to improve leptin sensitivity. And regular exercise also increases dopamine, which is your happy hormone. So while we're changing insulin, leptin, decreasing estrogen and cortisol levels, you actually are boosting the dopamine so you feel less stressed, and it actually will benefit you in the long run. So the more you're stressed, the more cortisol is produced, and often also it leaves you with a lot of excess estrogen. When you have that combination, you tend to crave more foods. We tend to stress eat. Everybody knows that. And a lot of times those things that we stress eat are going to include sweets and processed food, which in turn affect your insulin levels, your leptin hormone balance, your cortisol, etc., etc., etc. We know it's dysregulating everything. So clean eating, maintaining your general well-being can help us alleviate a lot of the harmful effects of this hormonal imbalance and help you lose weight. And then finally, I'm going to wrap this up with a comment about your healthcare provider. If you are having symptoms of perimenopause or menopause, hot flashes, night sweats, moodiness, irritability, disruptive sleep pattern, increasing anxiety, worsening brain fog, worsening fatigue, loss of interest, lack of motivation, no drive, no desire, the list goes on, as you can see, then you may want to talk to your healthcare provider about actually testing your hormone levels. Because when you are really dysregulated, oftentimes in addition to the things that we've just discussed in here that you can do naturally, you may benefit from having someone that can work with you to actually restore your balance more from a medical standpoint. So keep that in mind as you're going forward. And if you're really struggling, if making the changes that we've discussed so far don't seem to make a big impact, be sure to follow up with your healthcare provider and discuss with them about your hormones. I mentioned this briefly earlier, but one of the things I'm in the process of doing is creating a course on menopause and hormone balance, particularly for members of our group, Creating Optimal Health After 40. But in that, I've also got a symptom checklist that's going to be available very shortly, so you can go through the list of potential symptoms that are causing you to feel the way you are. And there's also a list of questions that when you go see your healthcare provider, you may want to take, because there's a good list of questions you can ask to make sure that all your questions are answered and that everybody is operating on the same page. Okay? Listen, if you want more information, then I invite you to check out our training site. If you go to our website, livingwellwithmikeandlisa.com, go to the button at the top that says Training Center. You can access other courses. We've got Simply Weight Loss Online, Binge Proof Lifestyle, dozens of other courses out there that you're welcome to peruse and look at and check out for yourself. And then finally, the medical disclaimer. Remember that this information on this site is strictly for educational purposes. I advise you that before you make any major changes in your health habits, that you actually talk with your doctor in regards to the information and make sure that everyone is doing what's best for you, okay? And then finally, other resources. Be sure, if you're not a member already of our Facebook group, go to facebook.com/groups/COHA40 and ask to join. Or check out our website at livingwellwithmikeandlisa.com for all the other information that we have available to you to help you in your quest to create optimal health after 40. Listen, I hope you have a great day, and I will see you on the next episode. Bye-bye.